and then just save your progress. So you can download that PDF and just fill it out. I'm going to share my screen here. You're going to see it, but I'm going to post it in the chat box. So in the chat box, again, is that PDF for the business plan that we're going to be talking about. So you can make sure to download that and you have it with you there. All right. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome. Happy New Year. Woo! 2025. Here we are. First Monday of the year. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. Tell me. First of all, hold on a second here. It's not mandatory. It's not mandatory, but I would certainly appreciate if y'all turned your cameras on. I know. Oh, Robert, I'm eating lunch. Okay, all right, you're eating lunch. I get it. Well, as long as you're not eating like spaghetti, right? Then you should be all right. Something to get messy. Eating like ribs or something like that. And my father told me when I was old enough to start dating, he said, "Son, I don't know anything about dating except for one thing." I was like, "What's that, Dad?" And he said, "Don't eat spaghetti on the first date." I said, "Okay, Dad, that's good advice. Thank you." So, so, so I know some of you are like, "Oh, Robert, I'm eating." Oh, Robert, I can't get my camera to work. It's 2025. I'm sure you figured out at this point that you get your camera to work. All right. So I want to see those smiling faces, people getting ready for 2025. Because if we were doing this class in an office, I mean, I'm in an office, but if we were doing this class, everybody in office, you wouldn't come in with a bag on your head, right? You'd come in smiling, ready to go. So I want to see those cameras on. That's what I'm rooting for. All right, everybody, look, and I'm excited. 2024 was a good year. Okay, wasn't a great year, it was a good year, but now I'm excited for 2025 to get launched and get ready and get moving. So that's what we're going to do today. So before we get started, I want everybody to stand up. I can tell if you're standing up or sitting down. I want everybody to stand up. You're going to get that bounce in your step. You got to get a bounce in your step because we're talking about getting 2025 moving. And I know you're sitting there going, "But Robert, I'm in the middle of the office. I'm in the middle. You know what? Guess what? I'm in the middle of the office too. I need you to get that bounce in your step, and I need you to put your hands together. You can unmute or say muted. I don't care, but you got to put your hands together. You got to put your hands together, and because I'm all about winning, 2025 is going to be all about winning. So I want you to say win 3 times on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Win, win,
Win,
win.
win, win.
Win, 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 win.
There we
Win, win,
go.
win.
Come on. Come on. It's 2025. It's first Monday. We got to get moving and grooving, baby. We got to get that bounce in our step. We got to get excited. Huh? No, 2024 is over. The election's over. Holidays are over. New Year's. Now, I know Chinese New Year's coming up too. I get it. Whatever. Right? But I told this to Jack Ma years ago, and I'm going to say it to you now. If you took off American New Year's, you don't get Chinese New Year's too. All right, you'll get one New Year's. I'm just messing with y'all. Yo, I'm just having some fun. Don't worry about it. All right, the holidays are over. Okay, I don't know. I'm not gonna ask how everybody's weight's doing. Okay, I'm not gonna ask. Okay, we're not gonna talk about those types of things. We'll figure that out later. All right. We're here today to talk about dominating 2025. That's what we're here to talk about. So in the chat box, if you're just joining us, glad you're here, first of all. But I've been putting the PDF, the business plan that we're going to be talking about here for the next 30 minutes or so. It's in the chat box. You can download it. It's a PDF. I'm going to share my screen in a second, right? We're going to get started on this. We're going to go through this PDF. We're going to talk about this business plan. We're going to talk about how to accomplish your goals and how to really get excited. Now, for some of you that were with me last week, talked about 2025. My theme for 2025 is I'm going 12 rounds with 2025. Okay. Some of you might be boxing people or not, whatever the case may be. I was a, boxing fan growing up. I'm going 12 rounds with 2025. I came out January 2nd saying, let's go. Okay. And I'm going all 12 rounds. Okay. And let me tell you why. We had a good year in 2024 as a company, but we didn't have a great year. We fell a little bit short of our goal. Okay. Now, that's not your fault. That's my fault because I'm the leader and I'm supposed to get us to where we're supposed to be. But I'm not going to fall short again. And that means I got to go 12 rounds. I got to be Rocky Balboa. Okay. I'm going. All right. So I'm ready, fired up, ready to go. Okay. So there's going to be no breaks, no disappointments for the next 12 months. It's like, no, it's go time. It's go time. So let's get up, let's get rocking, let's get moving. All right. So I'm going to keep posting because I know more and more people coming on board. I'm glad you're here, but I'm going to start sharing my screen, but I'll post in the chat box that business plan as more and more people come. All right. Hold on. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Y'all just saw my schedule. It's pretty scary looking, right? Very color coded. All right. Business plan 2025. All right. Everybody have it? Everybody got the business plan downloaded, or at least know that it's in the chat box? I'm going to share it again here. Okay. Right. So I'll share it in the chat box so you all have it. Right. We're talking about business planning 2025. Seize the opportunity. Decide, create, dominate. Decide, create, dominate. Okay. First word you got to decide. So let me show of hands here. Who has decided that no matter how great your 2024 was, that 2025 is going to be even better? Who's decided that already? All right, beautiful. So then we're already on step one. We're good. Yeah, a couple of you got both hands. Man, some of you are really talented because I see both hands and both feet. You know, like, wow, man, that's like magic you got going on. Good for, good for you. All right, I can't do that, man. I can't do. I don't have those skills. All right, so you've already decided. Now we've got to create. We've decided that we're going to do it. Now we've got to create the plan, create the schedule, create the system to make sure that everything goes to plan. All right. And then after we go through the plan that we create, we're going to dominate. Everybody say with me, say dominate.
Dominate.
That's right.
Dominate.
That's right. Okay. All right. Hold on a second here. I said dominate and I hit my chest and I got excited. Y'all said dominate and went dominate. I mean, like, you are not threatening anybody with that dominate. So let's say
Dominate.
it again. Say dominate. Let's go.
Dominate.
Let's
Dominate.
go.
Absolutely
Man,
dominate.
imagine, I mean, geez, Louise. Dominate. We're gonna do it with dominate. Like, man, all right, I got you. Cool, good for you. All right, so we're gonna decide. We're gonna create. We're gonna dominate. That's what we're gonna do. All right, so we're going to get into this business plan here, right? We're going to scroll down here. Now, before we get into this business plan, there's a couple things I want you to either write down or hear. Okay, a couple things you need to write down or hear before we even get into the business plan. First thing is this. You need to make sure that whatever your plan is, you go over it with the people that are most important to you and the people most impacted by this plan. Okay, which could be your spouse or significant other, if your kids are involved, anyone else that could be involved. Now, I'm one of those guys that I keep a pretty tight ship, meaning that when I talk about people that are important to your plan, I'm not talking about your buddies, right? Like, it's cool, like, that your buddies are involved, but who cares, right? They're not really a part of this. I'm talking about the people that live in your house, the people that are going to share in some of this income that you're going to be making. Now, here's why. Here's why this is really important. Okay. Well, let me ask you first of all, why do you think it's really important that before you even think about what your goals are going to be, you need to discuss with those people? Why do you think that's important?
Support.
They got to be part of the plan.
Support, right? You want some support
Correct.
from those people, part of the plan, right? What else?
Accountability.
Ooh, accountability. See, you are a real estate agent. Now, do most people outside of real estate take your job seriously?
No.
No. No. Okay. So you don't discuss this plan with the people that are important to you. Guess what? You're getting that call at 11:30 and saying, hey, can you pick me up some lunch? Hey, what time, can you go drop this off at the dry cleaners? Can you go do this? Because nobody thinks you have a real job, right? So you need that accountability. You need them to be a part of your plan. Okay, so that's all part of it as well. So all those things come into play. Now, I want you to understand something though with kids. Who here has kids? Or let me rephrase that. Who here has kids that are like not independent?
Oh.
Okay. Because some of y'all got like kids, like kids that are doing like things with their lives. Other of you have got kids that are like 10 years old, 12 years old, things like that.
Do
So
grandkids count?
well, depends on how involved you are, right? All jokes aside, because some of you are, babysit the grandkids and do all those other different things as well. So it depends. Okay. So I want you to write this down for those of you that have kids or someone involved with kids. If you get the kids involved, they become an asset. If you get the kids involved, they become an asset. If you don't get the kids involved, they become a liability. If you get the kids involved, they become an asset. If you don't get the kids involved, they become a liability. So here's what I mean by that. You need to sit down when you have kids that are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. They don't understand that, hey, I'm going to work, right? I got to go do this. I got to make my calls. I got to do all these other different things. So you have to get them involved. Hey, here's why, mommy or daddy, I've got to go to work and I need this time to this time set for me, right? So bar an emergency, you got to leave this time to me. But if you do that, here's what mommy or daddy will probably accomplish. And if I accomplish that, here's what you get out of it. Okay. Well, Robert, that was a long-winded way to say bribery. Correct. Okay. But that's the way it goes. But if you get them involved, now guess what? Now your kids are involved. Now here's the downside of having your kids involved, though. When you do that, here's the downside. You're going to get home. And what's your kid going to ask?
Did you work today?
Did you work today?
Did you work today?
That's the downside. The downside of what I just said is you explain this to your kids and your kids go, wow, that's great, Dad. That's fantastic. Okay. So bar an emergency, I'm going to leave you alone from this time to this time. And I know that if you do that, you're going to accomplish this. And that means we finally get to go to wherever, right? We get to go to Disney World in Florida. We get to get that Disney pass or whatever the case may be. I get that bike. I get whatever it is. Okay. Well, that's cool. Now they're an asset because now they're supporting you. They're not disrupting you because they know they have some skin in the game here. The downside of that is, like I said, you're going to get home and they say, Dad, are we closer to that Disney World trip? And you're like, no, no, that's Daddy didn't make any contacts today, son. But they become an asset. The reason if you don't get them involved, they become a liability is because now they're the disruptors. And it's not their fault. They're kids, right? They're the disruptors. They're the ones. So-and-so took my toy. So-and-so did this. Oh, you know what? I fell and I hit my knee. And it's like, is it, are you bleeding? Are you gushing blood? Can you walk? But you're doing all these things. They become a liability. Okay. So you got to get your kids involved. Here's the other reason why you have to get people involved in this plan. Now, this is really more of a deeper conversation, but a truthful conversation. Okay. Sometimes your family wants the time more than the money. So here's what I mean by this. You might put together a business plan and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to make $300,000 this year. I'm going to make 500 grand. I'm going to make 1 million, 2 million. Some of you obviously make, a couple million a year, right? Whatever that number is, a big number. That's what I'm going to put. Now, in order for me to do that, I've got to really step my game up. I got to increase the contacts. I got to do all these really great things. So it's going to occupy a little bit more of my time. But man, if we could do that and I hit that number, what a great thing for the family. So you create this plan, you create this whole thing. And then you go to the family and say, hey, look here's my plan, right? My plan is I'm going to make, $500,000 this year. And but here's the thing though, in order for me to make 500,000, I'm probably going to have to work from 8 to 8. Right? Or I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to work Saturdays, and all, I might miss some of your games. I might miss a couple things, but I'm going to get the 500 grand. your family might look at you and say, that's great. How much time would you need to commit and make 300? Because, we'd rather make the 300 and have you than make the 500 and not. Now, that's a wonderful situation to have, is it not? Right? Now, if in my case, it's more like, well, how much time would you have to be away to make $1 million? Just go. I mean, if you got to be away, if you got to travel, just go. I mean, that's a different story, though. It's a different story. Oh, we don't have to go down that path, right? But you got to get the family involved, because sometimes that's the thing. Okay, everybody with me on that?
Yep.
All right, beautiful. So make sure you're good on that. Now, the other reason you want to get the family involved is because it goes back to that support, right? Or it doesn't have to be family, just whoever's close to you that's going to be impacted on this, right? You want to make sure they're involved, because let me tell you the stupidest advice I ever got, dumbest advice I ever got. Okay. I went to a seminar one time, and some of you might disagree with me, and that's okay. We're allowed to disagree. Okay. But here's one of the stupidest things I ever heard. I went to a seminar one time. There was an agent who was a big producing agent. He said on stage, he goes, tell your family that they're not going to see you much for the next 5 years, but you'll set them up for the next 15 to 20 years. I said, man, I don't know who lives in your house, but I know who lives in mine. If I said, hey, you're not going to see me much for the next 5 years, they'd be like, well, guess what? You ain't going to see me much for the next 40, right? And it's just the dumbest advice that you could ever say. Oh, you're not going to see me much for 5 years. I'm going to set you up for the next 15 to 20. It's like, well, that's dumb. Well, your family doesn't want to hear that. Right. So you might have heard that on stage, and you're putting together your business plan. You're thinking, that's what I'm going to do. That's dumb. That's just dumb. It is. Right. Unless you just enjoy giving away half of your stuff, which is what's going to happen after you get divorced. Okay. Okay. So that's just how it's going to go. Right. Or not have that time with your kids. Think about this for those of you that have kids. Right. I talked about this last week, but I'll mention it again. At what age do kids pretty much no longer want to hang out with their parents?
Teenagers.
Teenagers,
13 and above.
13.
13 and above, 15, I
You
see
don't want to know
15.
us.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
true.
So now imagine you have a kids and you say, hey, you're not going to see me much for 5 years, but I'm going to set you up for the next 15. Okay, great. So for the 5 years that your kid wants to be with you, you're ignoring them. And then you're coming back into their lives and they're like, no, thanks, man. I'm cool. Appreciate the car though. And it's just dumb, right? So I want you to write this down. This is really important. You can make a lot of money and not sacrifice your life. You can make a lot of money and not sacrifice your life. We're going to get into this plan, but this is really important stuff that you need to know before you even go into a business plan. You can make a lot of money without sacrificing life. Do you have to sacrifice some things? Yeah, you got to work hard. You got to put in the hours. You got to do these things. I'm not telling you, that you can do a 4-hour work week and make $500,000. I'm not telling you that. You got to work. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. But there's no reason why you can't be a mega successful real estate agent or loan officer and also not be an attentive father. Also not be a supporting spouse. It's just, you can do it all. Okay. So don't believe anyone else, but that's why you have to get everybody involved. You got to know what's going on. Okay. All right. Good stuff. So just some things I wanted you to put. And then the last thing I want you to write down, then we're going to get into this plan, is when you're putting together the plan. Now, this is where I'm going to fair warn you. You're not going to like what I'm about to say. Some of you. That's okay. I'm going to get over it. You should too. You have to be honest with yourself about how many months you are actually going to commit to work. And then don't take this as a negative, but you have to be honest with yourself. Because I know for a fact that majority of real estate agents, even in our own company, put together very minimal effort in November and December. Some of you put together amazing effort in November and December, but most people don't. So you can't rip for and that's fine if that's your thing, right? But you have to then think about your business plan and say, oh, well, my goal is to do 12 deals, one a month. Okay, but if you already know you're not really going to put any effort in November and December, then don't make it one a month and try to get to 12. Okay, or that, oh no, I don't really do much, the first January, February, March. Okay, fine. If you're a 6-month agent, that September to October, April to September agent, that's fine. There's no issue with that. But then make that part of your plan. You have to be honest with yourself, okay, about how many months you're really going to work. And I'd rather you be honest with yourself about how many months you're going to work rather than asking me and then me having to be the one that's honest with you about how many months you really work. Okay, because some of you work all the time, but again, we can look at our numbers as a company in November and December, and it's like, well, clearly we don't have a lot of people really committed to work. All right, so you got to be honest with yourself about that. All right, here we go, folks. Let's get into this. All right, BFG. Your BFG. What is your BFG? So you'll notice here, B stands for big, G stands for goal. So this little word here in the middle that starts with F, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking fanatical. I know, I got it. Okay. I know that's what you're thinking, right? The truth of it is, the F stands for whatever you want. Okay. So it could be your big freaking goal, your big fanatical goal, right? Your big fantastic goal, your big fat goal. It can be your big effing goal, right? I know that's what most people were thinking. I get it, right? It can be whatever you want. You could even say, Robert, it's my big phenomenal goal. And I'm like, well, technically phenomenal starts with a P, but I'm not going to be the spelling master today. Put phenomenal. Have a ball, right? It can be whatever you want. It's your big F goal. Okay. What is your BF goal? And then you're going to start right here. What is it? What is your big F goal? Right? Whatever that may be. But you have to, I'm going to tell you something. It says here at the bottom of this page, right? Bottom of this page, it says, if you don't know what you're going to exchange the money for, you won't do the work. So we got to spend some time here. Why are you getting, look at, in real estate, does everybody say yes? No.
No.
You hear no so much more than you hear yes. Way much more. So why get up? Why get up and get rejected for a living? If you don't have that goal, what is it that's driving you? So right here, you got to put that big F goal, whatever that may be. And I'm going to tell you a secret. It can be superficial. Not everybody wants to build a church. Okay. Not everybody wants to pay off their parents' houses. Not everybody wants to give to charity. Not everybody wants to do whatever. Okay. Not everybody wants to pay for their kids' college. I'm not saying good or bad. I'm saying you got to be honest with yourself about what it is. You want to know what some people want? Boats. They want a yacht. They want a Lambo. They want a first-class trip to Italy. They want whatever, right? But that's okay. Right? But don't put what you think should be on there, because here's what's going to happen. Well, my big goal, Robert, is I really want to take the family to Italy, man. I'd really love that. And like, okay, great. And then you're like, oh, that sounds like a good goal I'm supposed to have. And then the alarm goes off. And the alarm goes off and it's still dark outside. And you go, there's a great Italian restaurant right down the street. I'm pretty sure they're from Italy. I mean, same thing, right? Click, hit the snooze. Okay, you got your big F goal has to be the thing that when the alarm goes off, you say, let's go. All right, so you're going to do that. And then you're going to write down, why is your BFG important to you? So you're going to write down what is the BFG, and then you're going to write down, why is it important to you? Why does that hit you? Why does that hit the soul? Right? Why did you put that down? And then you're going to put down, when do you want to accomplish your BFG? Because folks, here's the thing. Anyone ever heard this quote? A goal without a deadline is just a wish.
Yes.
You gotta, when do you want to accomplish this thing? I talked to one of our agents the other day. I didn't get permission to use his name. I don't think they would mind if I used his name, but I didn't ask him ahead of time. But he wrote down something that he wanted to accomplish. And it was like, well, when do you want to accomplish this? By then I said, okay, buy the ticket. He wanted to go somewhere. I said, buy the ticket today. Yeah. What do you mean? I said, buy the damn ticket. Let's go. Right? You gotta have a goal. When do you want to accomplish this? Now, here's the thing. Your BFG might be a real big goal that might take you 3, 4, 5 years. That's okay. Might be something that you can accomplish in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, this year. But when do you want to accomplish this? Put a date on it and then challenge yourself to do something to put some skin in the game. Well, you know what, Robert, I want to pay for my kids' college. Okay, great. Well, when do you want to have the college paid for? Oh, I want to have the college paid for by the end of 2026. So I got 2 years to have the college completely paid for. Okay, great. So first of all, figure out how much that is. So you got to have that done. So how about this? Why don't you put the first semester's tuition in the bank today? Separate bank account, go to the bank, open up a separate savings account, whatever your kid's name is, okay? Put their name on it, their college fund. Now there's also, college accounts, whatever you get it. You go to savings account and then say, hey, look, here's the first semester's tuition in it right now. Put some skin in the game. Now, here's what's going to happen. You put it in that separate account because the next time you need some money, how are you going to feel if you have to pull money from that account?
Terrible.
You're gonna feel terrible. You're not gonna feel good. See, if it's just in a normal savings account, it's everybody's money. No. You open up a separate account for that, right? So when do you want to accomplish it? All right, then you write down what is the number one thing you need to accomplish your BFG. Not a list of things, the one most important thing. And it could just be simply, I got to stay on my schedule every day. I got to make this many contacts every day. I got to do this. I got to stay focused. I've got to work on my mindset, whatever it may be. But what's the one thing? The one thing you need to do to accomplish your BFG? And then below that, what's the number one obstacle that could stop you from accomplishing your BFG? Now, there's obviously a lot of obstacles, but what's the one? What's the big one? And maybe it is, oh, you know what? My mindset. I always constantly have a poor mindset. Maybe it is, I just have a tough time with the schedule. Look, Robert, the truth is, I want to accomplish this, but let's be honest, I do have a couple kids that I have to drop off and pick up, and it's hard to manage all this stuff. Okay, great. Whatever it may be, there's no right or wrong answer. And then I want you to write down why your BFG is important to you again, because you're going to remind yourself. Folks, we're spending the most time on this page because it is absolutely the most important. Because if you don't have this locked in, that first day where you get hung up on, pardon my language, but the first time you make a phone call and they say, fuck you, and hang up the phone, guess what? You're not going to dial again. I'm just being honest, right? I don't like cursing in the big groups like this, but that's what happens. First time someone slams the door in your face, you're not going to go to the next door. But when you got to have this BFG locked in. Let me ask you a question. Show of hands. Have you ever gotten up and not wanted to go to work that day? Okay, I'm just
Every day.
I just wanted to see how many liars we had in the room.
Yeah,
Okay.
today.
I don't want to see how many liars.
It's sunny.
we
I
have.
don't work.
Right. Yeah. Everyone's raising their hand, right? Like I am too. I'm guilty of this. There's no perfect person. But, and the truth of it is, if we're being honest, and, a beer said it, it's most days. It's most days if we're being quite honest with it, right? I mean, nobody, imagine this situation. Nobody has this. Hey, Robert, I got an idea. It's beautiful outside. What do you say? We go down to the beach. We hang out. We do some surfing this morning, right? Catch some waves. Then we go to the boardwalk, we grab some lunch, some mimosas, a little champagne brunch, and then, kind of kick back a little bit, head back. What do you think about that? Sounds like a great day? No. I don't want to do that. What are you going to do? Let me tell you what I'm going to do. What I really want to do today is I want to log into my laptop and I want to go to redx.com and I want to put my headphones on and I want to download a bunch of strangers' phone numbers and I want to dial these strangers' phone numbers for like 4 hours straight and just ask them if they thought about selling their house. Does anybody wake up and choose option 2 in that scenario? No. Okay. Some of you might be like, I don't drink. Okay. You can have a cider brunch. Okay. So you got to understand your BFG. Okay. Everybody with me on your BFG? Right. So make sure you got that. You got that
What's-
locked and loaded.
What's the F, Robert? I'm sorry.
It's whatever you want. It could be your big freaking goal, your
was
big
gonna say-
fanatical goal. No, I know what everybody's going to say. That's why this is fun, right? That's why
Freedom.
this is fun.
Financial
Your favorite
goal.
word.
That big financial goal. Thank you, Armin. Right? It could be whatever you
Freedom.
want. That's why this is fun because everybody knows what the first one that comes to mind is, right? But some people are going to put that, right? That if that's what it is, that's what it is. It can be whatever you want. Okay? It's just whatever resonates with you. All right. So then the next page is we got to know where the business came from. So I got all these different sources down on one side, right? So I want you to write down where your deals came from and then what your projected deals are, your goals are for 2025 in terms of each source. Now, when you're going through this page, one of the things I want you to start thinking about when you're looking at the number of deals is the amount of time you spend on a particular source. Is it giving you a fair return? Okay. Hold on. Let me, let me resend the business plan in the chat.
Thank you, Robert.
There you go. Oh, shoot. That was supposed to go to everyone. My bad. So start thinking about, hey, I got 5 deals from past client centers of influence last year. And I got 2 deals from expireds. Okay, great. Well, how much time did you dedicate to past clients? How much time did you dedicate to expireds? And if you start looking and saying, well, I did it 50-50. I did 50% of my time on past clients, COI, 50% of the time expireds. Okay, well, clearly you didn't get the same return on investment with expireds as you did past client centers of influence, right? So when you start looking at this, I want you to think of one of 2 things. Either A, do I need to spend more time in certain areas because I'm getting a better return on investment there? Or B, if I really want to work certain areas, then let's create a game plan to get really good at it. So let's say expireds, right? Because I always pick on expireds. People say, you always pick on expireds. And that's true because most people call expireds and don't get any business. But if you really want to, you say, all right, I didn't get any business from expireds last year, but I want to work expireds. Okay, great. Then let's create a game plan to get really great at expireds. Don't just, okay, I'm going to start doing expireds. No. Let's create a plan to get really good. Learn the scripts. And we have that written out. We've done this before. Neil does these classes all the time on expireds. So we can get really great at it, right? Or you say, you know what, I want to incorporate some probates or whatever. Okay, great. Then let's create a plan to get good at it. Don't just put a goal in there on these, where did your business come from? Let's create a plan to get really good at these things. And I promise you, somebody in our company can help you create a really great plan at any of these. Okay. So you want to get, oh, Robert, I want to really be the for sale by owner king. I heard DK say that on the mastermind a couple of days ago that we rewatched. He was a for sale by owner king. I want to be a for sale by owner king. Great. We have a plan for that. I already have that one written. That's easy. Okay. We have a plan for the expireds. Well, I want to get a lot of business from open houses. Guess what? We have a whole open house, how to be the best at open houses. We have that too. Okay. We have all these things to help you put together a plan. Agent to agent referrals. affiliate referrals. Okay, so all these are, all, if nothing else, this page could be a reminder to you of all the different ways that you can come up with some business. Farming, right? Well, Robert, I didn't get any deals from farming my farm last year. Okay, well, either A, you have the most unique farm ever that doesn't do any business, or B, you're just not aggressive enough. Most people don't do any business farming because they're not aggressive enough. But we have a plan for that as well. Social media. We have 2 agents that were centurions last year where at least half their business came from social media. Now, I will be honest with you. I am not the person to help you with that. Okay, that is not my thing, but we have people that can help you with that. So start thinking about that as well. Okay, then we go down to this page, business plan, recap, and future goals. I made this as simple as possible. Okay, because normally on this page, it'll say, what's your goals, contacts, and properties preview, and all these other things. And I think everybody should do all that stuff. But I want this to be the simplest thing. Listings taken, listings sold, buyer, sale, close, commission earned. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, it all comes down to how much commission you earn, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So while I do think it's a contact sport and you got to preview, let me tell you something. You got to make the money. So here's what I want your mentality for 2025 as I'm putting together this business plan. Write this down. No matter what. No matter what. So here's what I mean. You get to this page right here. 2025 goals, listing taken, list sold, buyer sales closed, commission earned. Okay. How many contacts do I have to make to get these numbers? I don't know. Just go do it. Well, what do you mean? Well, if it takes you if your goal is to get a listing a week and you can do it in 5 contacts, God bless you. But if it takes you 200, then do 200. If the phone's not working, go to the doors. If that's not working, send some text messages. If that's not working, send some emails. Go on social media. You create a no matter what mentality for 2025 because ultimately it all comes down to commission earned. You cannot pay your bills with properties previewed. You cannot pay your bills with doors knocked. Now, I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm preaching to please do those things because there's a correlation between them and success. But you need money. So I made this really simple so it's just no matter what, I got to get this amount of money. Okay? Everybody with me on this no matter what idea? Don't matter about how many contacts, what you have to do. Just get it done. Okay? So everybody say, you don't have to unmute. Just say it yourself. Say no matter what. Say no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what. That's it. So write down your goals here. Listings, sales, buyer sales, close, commissioner. That's it. And then I don't give a damn how you got to do it. Just get it done. And whatever it is you want to do. Now, if you come to me and you say, Robert, I'm not hitting my goals. I'm not doing this. One of the questions I am going to ask you is, well, how many people are you talking to every day? You should be tracking this stuff. But on this plan, I just want you to focus on the end result, no matter what. Okay. And here's the other thing, though. I've said this before. Who here has been in real estate for more than 5 years? Okay. So for those of you that have been in real estate for more than 5 years, compare today to say 5, 6 years ago, the pre-COVID world, which seems like so long ago. Is it taking more contacts today to find a lead than in years past?
Yes.
Yes. Taking more contacts to find a lead. Is it taking more leads to get an appointment than in years past?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. I can't even really give you a fair number. It used to be able to say, right, hey, if you made 30 contacts a day, everything goes away, right? All your problems go away. I don't know what 30 contacts a day gets you because it's taking more contacts to get a lead and more leads to get an appointment. So maybe 30 contacts solves all your problems. Maybe it's 35. Maybe it's a mixture of 30 contacts or 20 contacts and some text messages. Maybe it's a mixture of some social media and 15 contacts. I don't know. because it is taking more contacts to get leads and more leads to get appointments. That's another reason why you just got to create this no matter what. All right. So then you go down here. What are 3 things you want to duplicate from 2024 going into 2025? Pretty self-explanatory, right? And then this one, what are 3 things you want to remove from your business, from your life in 2024, moving into 2025? And then what are 3 things you want to add? And then don't forget this one. What are your personal growth goals in 2025? See, here's the other thing when it comes to business planning. I'm not going to go into my whole spiel, okay? But just understand this. You can't be a winner at work and a loser at home. You just can't.
So true.
You just can't, okay? So everything is tied together. So you got to understand, what are your personal growth goals in 2025 as well? Because if all you do is focus on work, and my work goals, and you're leaving the personal growth behind, guess what? The work goals aren't going to get there, or they're going to take a hell of a lot longer than they should. Okay, everything coincides. Now, nobody's perfect. People go through divorces. People go through breakups. People get DUIs. And nobody's perfect. Okay, I'm not saying like you can't go through some stuff, but you always have to be working on yourself. You always have to be trying to get better in whatever element that is. Okay, hey, the marriage didn't work out. Okay, well that's fine, but let me be a good parent. Okay, let me be a good friend, or whatever the case may be. Right? So like things happen in life, but you have to constantly make sure that you're taking care of your personal side as well. Okay. You can't separate the two. Can't separate the two. I remember I remember years ago, I sat down with a boss, and he goes, all right, Robert, here's the deal with this business plan. And he said, what happens in here, we were in the office. He goes, what happens in here, what happens out there stays out there. Nothing gets in here. And I said, wow, this is phenomenal. So if I don't make any money here, my wife can't get mad at me out there. This is such a great plan, honey. I know we don't have any money, but that's an in there problem. Now, how many of you think that worked? That did not fly well. That did not fly well, right? You can't separate the two. So you got to make sure you have your personal growth goals in 2025 as well. All right. Everybody with me on this, right? This page right here. No matter what, keep it simple. And then just the 3 things, right? 3 things you want to duplicate, remove, you want to add, right? And everybody's answers can be different. Well, what do you mean? What should I remove? Well, are you always late? Remove being tardy. Okay. That's no good. Are you inconsistent? Remove your inconsistencies. You know what? I've been working this neighborhood for 6 years. I don't have any deals. I don't have any leads. I don't know. Okay, maybe you should remove that area. Okay. What do you want to duplicate? What do you want to add? All right. So then we get down to this page. Again, it is funny on business plans. You'll notice that when on the business plans, the majority of the business plans is focused on mindset and personal growth and personal power rather than it is on activities. Is that funny? Right? Because now you're going to go through things I'd like to have, things I'd like to do, places I'd like to go, things I'd like to change in my life. You got to fill this section out. Now, things I like to have, this is where you get to be a little superficial. I'd like to have a certain car, but be specific, right? Oh, I want to have a boat in Marina Del Rey. I want to have a, Mercedes, whatever series. I want to have this. What are things you'd like to have? Things you'd like to do. I'd like to go scuba diving. I'd like to run a marathon. I'd like to do this. I'd like to that. Things you like to do. Places you'd like to go. Traveling, right? Giant world out there. Things I'd like to change in my life. Now, I want to stop here for a second with things I want to change in my life. It doesn't always have to be depressing. Sometimes you got to get really sentimental within this is what I want to change. Sometimes it can just be, positive stuff, that you want to change. Not everything always has to be negative. Now, sometimes you got to change the negativity, but just think about that, right? But this is all building that dreams, building those relationships. Folks, I want you to understand something. One of the greatest things Mike Ferry ever said is this, okay? This is let's see if anyone can repeat this or knows the end of this sentence. This is a simple business. It's just what? Anyone know
Difficult.
the answer? No,
Not-
this is a simple business.
not
It's just
easy.
what? It's just not easy. Mike Ferry, one of the best things he ever said. It's a simple business. It's just not easy. Folks, we're spending so much time focusing on dreams, your goals, your plans. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What's your BFG? We're spending so much time on that because the reality is this business is simple. There's only so many activities you can do to generate business. The biggest problem people have with hitting their goals is this stuff. They don't have the goal. They don't have the dream, the desire. They don't have all that stuff locked in. They don't have the right mindset to keep going, to keep fighting. That's where people fail in real estate. It's not because they failed going, I didn't know what to do. There's only so many things. It's a simple business. It's not easy, but this is where most people fail. This is why we're spending so much time on this stuff. And you might think, oh, yeah, whatever, Robert. I just want to know how to go after expireds. Okay, tell you what, if you don't have this stuff down, you're going to get your ass beat by expireds all day. Because you're going to go after expireds, they're going to hang up the phone, and you're going to get bummed out. You're going to get disappointed. And you're not going to have this here to fire you back up. Folks, you got to take this part seriously. This BFG, these things you like to have, places you want to go. That's the most important part of this business. There's only so many things you can do to generate a deal. All right, last couple pages here. What have been my distractions? Okay, because we hear that a lot. Well, what's the biggest problem? Distractions. So we got a list of distractions here. You're going to rank the following distractions from the most distracting to the least distracting. Okay. And then what actions must I take to become more focused? So start identifying what are your distractions. Previous evening, waking up late, conversations with agents in the office, which isn't really that big of a problem nowadays because there's not many agents that go to the office. Checking voicemail before noon, right? My staff, incoming phone calls, all these things. Okay. So I want you to write this down. If you can master 8 to 12, the afternoon takes care of itself. If you can master 8 to 12, the afternoon will take care of itself. See, we have too many problems and too many distractions in the morning, and then we're running around recklessly in the afternoon. You got to master 8 to 12, which means you got to let the distractions wait. You got to push the distractions aside. Okay. My cell phone, you get in the office and you got the bing, 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 bang, boom, 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 boom. Man, I got to tell you, I got so many apps. There's too many apps. There's too many apps. There's just too many. Okay. I got all kinds of things going on. And so I just turn it off sometimes. Right. Did you see my message on Telegram? No, call me. I don't have Telegram on all the time because my phone will go off all day. Right. I'll check it. I'll do some things eventually. But you got to just stay focused. Master 8 to 12, afternoon takes care of itself. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to problems, if it's a problem at 9 a.m., does it always require your immediate attention?
No.
No. See, well, yeah, but what? I got a client and they're freaking out. They'll be fine. What are they? There's nothing that can't wait till noon. Unless the house is literally on fire. Okay. Which at that point, why are they calling you? Okay. It's okay. My TC's calling me. They have a question about something. First of all, you need to tell your TC to never call you before noon. Unless it is like the most ridiculous emergency, which it usually never is. Okay. They're thinking about canceling. All right. I'll call them at noon. But they're going to cancel. They're not going to cancel before noon. Okay. Like, we'll be all right. And if they do cancel, I'm glad I'm prospecting because I'm going to need another deal to fill it up.
Bingo.
Okay. So there's nothing that can't wait. Okay. So put that stuff aside. Okay, limit distractions. I want you to write down 11 minutes. 11 minutes. Here's what 11 minutes is. According to the book, The Slight Edge. There's a book called The Slight Edge. Thank you, Neil Schwartz, for turning that book on to me. Okay, a book called The Slight Edge. In that book, it says if you are fully focused on something, you're fully focused, and you get distracted, it could take up to 11 minutes to get back to that level of focus you were at prior to the distraction. So I want you to think about that. You're in the middle of a prospecting session, for example, right? You're prospecting, boom, boom, boom. I'm focused, right? I'm on it. I'm on it. And then bing, bing, bing. They need okay. Yeah. No. I'll get back to you. Okay, cool. All right, where was I? Boom. Now you got to get 11 minutes. You just lost 11 minutes potentially. Now, how many times does that happen a day? 2, 3, 4 times? It's 11 minutes each time. That's crazy. Okay, so you got to work on those. Okay, and if you need help with that, again, we'll help you out with that, right? And the last couple of things, get the morning right. So some ideas for your morning, exercise, stretching. You don't have to do all these. These are just ideas. Proper nutrition, meditation, prayer, power questions, review your goals, affirmation. I think you should review your goals 3 times a day. Okay, right when you get up, right when you start your work day, and then after lunch. Okay, listen to motivational sales recordings, so on and so forth. Right? So get your morning ritual. Avoid the following in the morning: checking voicemail, checking email, checking stocks, reading the news, watching the news, talking to current customers, working on current files, talking to your assistant, talking to other agents. Get your lead stuff done in the morning. Because why do you think we push so hard on doing lead generation activities in the morning? We're almost done. Why do you think we push so hard on that in the morning?
It'll get
Because you're
done.
going to be setting your
Energy.
appointments.
I heard Marticela say energy.
Not
So
gonna
there's
get
someone
done
else.
otherwise.
Oh, Armin, not going to get done otherwise. Okay, folks, 2 things. When are you typically at your highest level of energy and focused? In the morning or in the afternoon?
In the morning.
Morning. You get up, you're excited, you got that bounce in your step, you listen to my 7 a.m. motivational message, because I know all of you do that, right? And you get excited and you're like, all right, let's go, right? So now you're going to make the calls. Instead, because at 2 o'clock, it's getting a little late. Oh, man. I haven't made my calls yet today. And then it goes into what Armin said. It won't get done. Oh, man, I don't want to do it. Because let's be honest, prospecting sucks. Lead generation sucks. So it's your hardest task and your most important task, which is up here. You need the energy and focus to match it. Well, at 2 o'clock, this task is still up here. It's still hard and important, but your energy level's here. So either A, you won't do it, or B, if you do it, it'll be at half the ability that you would have had in the morning. Everybody with me on this? So that's why we focus so much on doing it in the morning, right? So avoid all this other stuff in the morning. Do your lead generation stuff. You'll do plenty of admin things in the afternoon. That ain't a problem. Now, my one thing that I would say is I would call your leads first, your hot leads first. Okay? Because if something does come up, at least you've called your leads. Plus, they're usually the best conversations, and who wouldn't want to set an appointment first thing in the morning, right? It'll get you going the rest of the day. I've never understood why people decide to hammer expireds so early in the morning and get frustrated. And when your biggest moneymaker is your leads, so they get last. And then your second biggest moneymaker is your database, and then they fall after that. I'm like, at my highest level of energy and my highest level of focus, shouldn't I dedicate that to my biggest money makers, which would be my leads and my past client centers of influence? I'll hammer expires when I'm kind of wore out and see what happens. All right. Okay. And then, so we're going to stop there for today. All right. Questions on anything we went over today? All right. So my final thoughts are this. First of all, again, thank you all for being here. Final thoughts are this. take a few minutes. Now, you don't have to do it right now if you don't want to, but take a few minutes to really fill this out. Don't just no. Take a few minutes and fill this out. Okay. Make this the year that you make a business plan that hits, that really hits. Not a business plan that you just, yeah, that sounds good, and then you put it away. No. Make 2025 the year that you make a business plan that really hits you, that really drives something in you, that really gets you excited about going to work tomorrow. Okay, doing something this afternoon. So take a few minutes to really figure out what your BFG is, to really figure out the places you want to go, those goals you want to hit. Sit down with the people that are important to you, that are really impacted by this, and say, hey, here's what I want. What do you think? What do you think? You fired up about this? Would you be excited if I did this? Yeah, I would. Okay, well, I'm excited too. Right? Make this the year that you create that type of a business plan.
Yeah, Robert, James,
Yeah.
question. Where I can get that business plan that
It should be in the chat box, but we'll email it out as well.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
You got it.
I will. Thank you.
So after you create that business plan, then I want you to do, I know this is fillable and you can download it, but print it out and have it wherever you, if you're someone that goes to the office every day, have it on your desk. If you don't go to the office every day, have it wherever you work out of your house. Maybe have it in your car, right? Have it with you so you can touch it, you can feel it, you can look at the pages and say, that's right. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm going to stop at that for sale by owner right there. That's why I'm going to go door knock that expired. I hate asking people I know for business, but I'm going to do it because it's in my BFG and that's what I got to do. So print it out and have it with you. Look at it every single day. Okay. Not just some days, every single day. And then you don't have to do this, but if you want some accountability, if you want some help, if you want some guidance, something to help you accomplish that, send it. Send it to me, send it to Neil, send it to Patty, to Eddie, to Jackie, to Terry, send it to the Thompsons, send it whoever. I mean, we're here to help, right? We're here to help you out accomplish these things. Okay? And believe it or not, we know a couple things. So, we can hold, even it's just holding you accountable. If you say, hey, I want to really get good at this, how do I do that? But man, let's make this year the plan that really hits. Okay. And then that way at the end of the year, you go, wow, man, I looked at this thing every day. Every day this year, I looked at this thing minus my vacation days, and then see how it impacted your year. But I think you can do some really cool things. Yeah.
I look at that chat. I did see that's a business plan there.
All right. I'll put it in there. I'll put it in there again.
Okay. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But make this the plan that finally does that. All right. And if nothing else, if you don't want to share it with us, that's perfectly fine. Share it with somebody, because one of my favorite quotes ever is John Maxwell, who says goals that are not made public are useless. So share this with somebody, so at least you got somebody there helping you out. Folks, I'm telling you, this year's going to be different. Okay? I'm going 12 rounds with 2025 for the simple fact that I heard the NAR say that 27% of real estate agents verbally said themselves they're not going to stay in business for more than 2 years. I heard Judge Fight, a man I respect tremendously out in Texas, tell me that almost more than 80% of real estate agents by the end of the year will be part-time. I heard all these things. I've heard prices going up. I've heard sales. I've heard all this stuff. And all I think about is, man, what an amazing opportunity for the people that want to really take advantage of it, that want to get excited, that want to have that bounce in a step, that say, I want to freaking win. You know me, I'm all about winning, right? I'm telling you, this year is different. It's different. So don't get annoyed at me when I'm bouncing every day. Don't get annoyed with me when I'm fired up every day, when I'm loud every day, when I'm getting on it every day. Don't get annoyed at me. I just see the writing on the wall that this year's going to be different, but only for those that really put it in. But man, if you do, just like Mike Meadler said a couple months ago, If you can set up the next 18 months, he does it 6 months ago. We're 6 months in. The next 18 months are going to be tremendous. You got 12 months. Man, it's different. It's different. So let's get excited. Let's get fired up. I'm here. I'm going 12 rounds with 2025. So whatever you need, you let me know, and we're going to make it happen. All right, everybody. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much.